All right. Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. Inside. Step inside. Here we go. Hey, hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on 1101, the fifth day, or third day, rather, the third day of June. Uh, 70 degrees and clear skies on this June night. And I hope you're having a blessed night wherever you may be. Um, hello, Fred. Thank you for clicking on. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, for watching, all of you clicking on. And those of you watching at your leisure, don't forget to hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very much. Of course, thank you for clicking on. If you're a subscriber, hit that notification bell so you will know when we indeed are on. So tonight's episode, drones, bots, and they said what? We're going to start out with looking back at last night's episode briefly, and then we are going to end looking back at an episode from a few months back. So, with all of that said, let's get rolling along here, and I'm starting with a segment from last night. It's a comedy piece. Um, However, some people didn't take it as a comedy piece. I got some blowback on this. Um, First of all, I'm not threatening anybody by playing this, and the guy doing the comedy bit isn't threatening anybody by this comedy bit. Um, with that being said, let's just let it go.
Argument's completely right. So the conservative argument is that guns are written in the Constitution because the founding fathers thought if all the citizens have guns, the government will have to do what they say, or else the people will rise up and fight the government, right? Which is a legitimately great idea in the 1700s. But the problem is there's still people now hoarding weapons, thinking that at some point they may need to take on the American military, and they think they have a shot, right? And look, maybe they're right, which is why I'm proposing we test their theory and once a year have a head-to-head showdown. Say 100 members of the NRA versus, I don't know, 2 members of the military. Broadcasted on Fox Christmas Day. Like, Merry Christmas and welcome to the 2022 NRA Military Showdown. Let's go down to the field of battle, meet one of our NRA combatants. Sir, what's your name? What kind of weapon do you work with? He's like, my name's Andy Baker, and I got an AR-15 wearing Kevlar head to toe. Andy, how confident are you, scale of 1 to 10? Fucking a million. We're going to check in with the military real quick, and they cut to one guy by himself in a bunker, and he's like, my name's Staff Sergeant Jeremiah Walker. And they're like, Jeremiah, what kind of weapon you work with? And he's like, look, I don't know if this is fair, but I'm working with a drone. Yeah, it's equipped with 8 Hellfire missiles and a high-powered camera. As you can see on this monitor here, the NRA fellas are actually in just one big cluster. So we started, all right? All right, yeah, so I'm gonna hit this button right here. Yeah, now they're all dead. That'll do it.
Okay. So again, I wasn't threatening anybody. This guy's not threatening anybody. So, get off of that horse. The other thing was that when he says the guy, staff sergeant, whatever, he says, I've got a drone and 8 Hellfire missiles. I got a message that, no drones carry missiles. Drones aren't big enough to do any kind of damage. You're being, misinformation, blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway, they're talking the person that sent that is talking about these kind of drones. All right, these drones. Now, these drones actually in Ukraine are dropping single bomblets onto sites, but that's a totally different thing. No, the drones that were mentioned and referenced in that bit of comedy, these are the drones we're talking about, such as the MQ-9 Raptor, which is shown right here, and actually Master Sergeant Matthew Spears and Staff Sergeant Colin Coakley from the 174th Attack Wing Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Hancock Field Air National Guard Base in Syracuse, New York, place wheel chalks down to stabilize an MQ-9 Raptor on the flight line following its arrival to Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station, New York, August 9, 2023. So you get a scale of the size of these drones compared with the two sergeants that you see in the picture. You can use that for scale. Now, what kind of missiles do the MQ-9 Reaper carry? Pardon me. Pardon me. My gosh. The MQ-9 employs up to 8 laser-guided Hellfire missiles. Exactly what the comedian said. So, truth is often very, very funny, as well as also being proverbially stranger than fiction. So, crap, I hit the wrong button. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on. We are just getting rolling tonight. It is drones, bots, and they said what? And we are, here we go. This is what I wanted to do. So bots, we hear the term a lot. Do we understand what it means, what they are, what they do? I didn't. And this helped me out a little bit. If you're in the same situation I was, that you don't really understand the whole bot thing, give this a listen.
I'm a former tech employee, created and sustained a bot farm between 2015 and 2018. Give you guys some information because American bot farm operators are pretty rare. Most bot farms operate overseas. I don't know if there's anyone like me in the US that can tell you this stuff, is all I'm saying. Typically way more secretive about this, but it's gotten so bad I need to talk about it. So what is a bot farm? Something that a company or an individual purchases. You get a set amount of bots that, like normal people, go out and spread your message. So here's the work that goes into them. I, as the operator, have to create each individual fake person. I have to create a bio, I have to create a picture, a username, a real name. Then I have to generate content. It has to be supportive of the message that the client is paying for. Positive opinion of the company or the individual. If anyone has ever tried to create content, that takes time and it also takes ideas. It's not easy. Finally, you need to program those bots based on activity. Bots respond to what you do. You think that you going around and liking things is invisible. It's not. You're leaving a footprint across the app. That footprint is tracked by people like me. So based on what other people like or comment on, I program my bot to go and search for those people, find them, and then interact with them with my content that supports the message that I've created. This programming also includes research to find the people that are the most susceptible to believing the message that you're selling. I'm targeting those people. This is just scratching the surface of like what it takes to program one of these, and people are buying hundreds of them. Now here's the interesting part. The software to run all those bots is not free, and the time that it takes to create all the things that I just told you about, also not free. All of this stuff costs money, and it represents money when you see it. If you're seeing nonstop videos posted with a certain agenda, someone's paying for that. So when you see a dump of ton of media that's telling you all the same message, do not say, wow, what a thing happening right now. Please instead say, wow, who's trying to buy my opinion on this topic?
Again, it's just something I wanted to share with everyone. A little bit about bots, in case you didn't know. And let me bring this up just a skosh here. There we go. The person making faces behind Dr. Fauci in today's hearing, this guy back here making this face is he has just got out of prison. His name's Brandon Fellows, January 6th rioter that was released from prison on May the 20th after serving 3 years on both felony and misdemeanor charges. And after getting out, he decides that he wants to spend a day in Congress behind Dr. Fauci. And I'm curious what's on Fauci's nose here. But anyway, this guy's making the faces while Dr. Fauci's talking about the death threats he, his wife, and children endured and continue to endure. So sometimes a picture is indeed worth 1,000 words. Now, sitting, you can see, let me go back here for just a second. You can see this fellow's guy is sitting on the left shoulder, over the left shoulder of Dr. Fauci. Over the right shoulder of Fauci was a guy named Ivan Reichland, and this is him. And I'm just going to let him again. Tonight's segment. Drones, bots, and they said, "What's?" And here's what he had to say.
There you have it. So I gave him a little earful so that he knows that a good and growing segment of society knows what he did, and we demand maximum consequences. Maximum. If you can think of maximum and then put that on steroids and then multiply it by 1 trillion to the trillionth, that's the maximum level consequences that I'm referring to. Now, it appears as though people really enjoyed that I got to sit and observe and, let's just say, whisper in Dr. Fauci's ear. And fortunately for him, I was not close enough to him physically to conduct a Mike Tyson style Evander Holyfield physical movement. If you don't know what that means, take a look at Mike Tyson, what he did to Evander Holyfield's ear. Unfortunately for me, fortunately for Dr. Death, I wasn't within, pun intended, earshot to conduct a Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield ear caressing.
For those that don't know, Mike Tyson in a fight against Evander Holyfield got frustrated and bit off part of Holyfield's ear. Again, in the they said, "What?" segment of the show, we have the one and only Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I don't know, you interpret this for yourselves.
In that room? No, absolutely not. I mean, everything I said is correct. It's how the American people feel. It's what we know to be a fact. It's all the evidence has been proven true. We have Jamie Raskin in there accusing us of worshiping Trump, worshiping as a convicted felon. Well, yeah, so is George Floyd. And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd. Democrats worship George Floyd. There were riots burning down the fucking country over George Floyd, and Raskin is in there saying we worship him. Excuse me, let me correct you, and this is really important. I don't worship, I worship God. God, and Jesus is my savior. I don't worship President Trump. And I'm really sick and tired of the bullshit annex I have to deal with constantly from the Democrats. So that's what we just went through in there. And then they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there? Whoever was talking last was calling me insane.
Okay. Marge had some difficulties in the hearings today. Back to Ivan Raiklin. This is not what he said today, but again, here he is sitting behind, sitting over the right shoulder of Dr. Fauci, and I actually was on the phone with someone, and I saw him over their shoulder, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's what the world is he doing there? How did he get in this courtroom?" He's not guilty of anything, so I assume that it's okay for him to be in court. But it's odd. And these two weren't the only ones there associated with January 6th. So here's what he has said in the past.
I have a deep state target list, and I'm coming for all of them. And what does that mean when I say coming for all of them? It means the most legal, moral, and ethical consequences to the maximum, to include the maximum punishment for treason. I personally guarantee that they're going to face those consequences. And you can take a look at that list. Expect to see live stream swatting raids of every single individual on that deep state target list, because the precedence has already been set. There's 80,000 of us that are ready, willing, and able, in order to be deputized by appropriate sheriffs throughout the country, to be participants as lawful deputies to conduct a live stream swatting raids of every single person that we can identify that conducted the necessary unlawful activity by county on my deep state target list. The individuals that I mentioned are the enemy of our constitutional order. We're coming for them maximally. And how we're coming for them is because we are engaging with counties and states in order to crush them. It's legal, moral, ethical. I said it was peaceful and patriotic. It may not be peaceful for them, but for me, it'll be peaceful.
Just something to think about. Sounded very threatening and ominous. And again, about between 15 and 20% of the total population considers themselves MAGA. I would say maybe 1% of that MAGA group is as lunatic fringe as this guy presents himself to be. Don't have any words from this guy, but if we don't put it out here, I don't think anybody would pay any attention at all to this. But a GOP operative, the Republican Party operative, was sentenced to 18 months in prison for facilitating illegal Russian donation to the Trump 2016 campaign. I would think that would be treasonous, bringing foreign money, knowingly bringing foreign money in to influence a campaign, especially a country that has been an adversary of ours at times and possibly currently, depending on where you stand on things. Anyway, that's a totally different episode. Here's what Kevin McCarthy had to say. I was surprised. And that's why this is in the they said what section.
I became leader when we took the minority, and this was a turning point for me. I go into the State of the Union, and in the State of the Union, one side stands up and the other side stands up, and I just become leader, and I'm excited, and President Trump's there, and I look over at the Democrats, and they stand up. They look like America. We stand up, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. And I decided then either I am going to be the leader of a declining end of a party, or I have to change the opportunity in this party.
A lot of Republicans thinking like the former speaker. This is a reference to the end tonight. I said I've got something coming up at the end. We're going to go back a few episodes. Actually, we're going to go back a few months and go back a few months and talk about the pipe bomber incident. Two of those the night before January 6th. They were planted on the night of January 5th. All right, this is another segment. Have you researched Operation Mockingbird? This is worth 7 minutes of your time. Okay. I thought this is worth sharing. Again, I don't tell you what to think or how to think. I'm not telling you to accept this, believe this, discount this, dismiss this. I'm not telling you any of that. I just found this rather interesting. And just for a little background, yes, I have researched Operation Mockingbird. Okay. Now, if you just do a Google Operation Mockingbird, what comes up first is Project Mockingbird. And that was a telephone intercept activity supposedly conducted between 12 March 63, 15 June 63, targeting just two Washington-based newsmen who at that time had been publishing news articles based on and frequently quoting classified materials of the CIA. So they were interested in where this information was coming from. And that is the official story, that it was a very, very limited operation. That is Project Mockingbird. Now, Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency that began in the early years of the Cold War. This is the time period we're talking. And it attempted to manipulate domestic American news media organizations for propaganda purposes. And some are suggesting that it was never totally deactivated, or that it was deactivated and then reactivated. This is 6 minutes and 51 seconds. Okay, I'm getting that there's no audio with the video playing. I'm not showing that at all. No sound. Are you hearing me? Let me do this. Let me hang on. Somebody is okay. Now you are hearing me. You are hearing me now. Okay, yes. Let me hang on a second. Let me get out of the share mode and let me come back over here. Here we go. Let me get out of the share mode. Let me get back into this. Just nothing with the live video. Okay, thank you. Let me retry this. Let me start this over because the audio, of course, is significant. I was hearing it just fine, so thank you all for letting me know. And let me try it again. And if it doesn't work, I'll move on.
Since the invention of the printing press, there's been a battle to control disseminated information. In the early 1900s, oil tycoon John D. Rockefeller took control of every newspaper and news editor of his era. He became America's
Let
first
me know if
billionaire,
you're getting this. Yes,
paving
all
the
right,
way for
here
the
we
power
go.
hungry ever since. Thus began the gold rush for the modern world's most precious resource, the narrative.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
During a Senate committee investigation, it was revealed that the CIA had been conducting a covert operation to infiltrate and control U.S. media. They called it Operation Mockingbird.
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals. Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks? This, I think, gets into the kind of details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
Over 3,000 CIA contracted and trained operatives were placed in key positions within top media outlets. Posing as editors and journalists, these well-paid actors never dared to question the effect of their lives on the world beyond their cozy studio.
How often does the CIA manipulate the media in this way?
It goes beyond your wildest imagination. Setting up student organizations so they could draw radical students in. 5,000 university professors co-opted to help the CIA manipulate people's minds. Journalists in the U.S., including big-name journalists, co-opted to function routinely to help the CIA put out stories and biases to the world.
As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will.
It's a great brainwashing process to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interest of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
Would you say that continues today?
Well, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations, I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
So how do we know that Operation Mockingbird still isn't in effect? Well, we don't.
It was the Telecommunications Act of 1996 that opened the door for predatory corporations to monopolize the industries of print and broadcast.
This bill protects consumers against monopolies. It guarantees the diversity of voices.
Today, a handful of corporate empires own and control the vast majority of everything you read, hear, and watch. From the biggest movie studios, television and radio networks, newspapers and magazines, to the vast universe of internet news and entertainment sites.
Amazon has transformed its operations in response to COVID-19 to protect employees and keep packages flowing.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy while still delivering those packages to your doorstep.
The company is keeping its employees safe
keeping
and
its employees
healthy.
safe.
The company is keeping its employees safe.
Millions of Americans staying at home.
Millions of Americans staying at home. Amazon.
And that is how it works. It's like a house of mirrors, where you're seeing the same thing over and over and over again, except it's distorted.
There's an industry that is paid to go after and target journalists, whistleblowers, and inundate our consciousness and the images we see to try to ruin, destroy, or smear the idea that they don't like or the person who's delivering it.
You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
News personalities are not the only high-paid actors to serve the propaganda machine. Most late-night talk shows are owned by the same corporate overlords and thus follow the same script, only laced with a laugh.
Our main story tonight concerns conspiracy theories.
Last Week Tonight with John Oliver featured a skit entitled Coronavirus Conspiracy Theories.
Like the claim that the moon landing was faked.
First thing to note here is that Mr. Oliver opens with commentary about conspiracy theories that are completely unrelated to coronavirus. This is a standard tactic used by propagandists to set a tone so that anything that follows will be seen through the lens of absurdity.
Plandemic, a pseudo-documentary filled with a hodgepodge of conspiracy theories.
Mr. Oliver then does his best to debunk Dr. Judy's claim that she was arrested but never charged with a crime.
She was absolutely criminally charged.
This was not an oversight, but a blatant lie. Prior to the taping of this episode, Mr. Oliver had the official arrest documents that clearly prove that Dr. Judy was never charged with a crime. Mr. Oliver then attempts to debunk the idea that a beach, aka nature, holds any value in boosting our body's natural immune system. Instead of challenging the point with science, he kills it with a smear.
Everything that you just said is insane.
Television is not the truth. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Again, obviously the volume necessary for that one. And again, not condoning, not condemning, not discounting, and not promoting. Just giving you information that is part of the X scroll. And okay, I thought I had one more story from last night. I'm sorry, one more story from tonight, and that wasn't the end of the, but I guess it was Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about how she knows a ton of people that are as lazy and sorry and probably worse than black people she knows. This is who's running against Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm going to let him speak for himself, which I thought I did last night, but it turns out the volume wasn't working. So not sure what's up. I'm really not sure what's going on with the connections between the studio and YouTube. Somewhere in there, the volume keeps getting cut out. So here's Sean Harris.
Team. My name is Sean Harris. I'm running for Congress as a Democrat,
and I'm going to send Marjorie Taylor Greene to greener pastures. You take that to the bank. I want you to be with me on Team Georgia. I am retired Brigadier General Sean Harris, and I and you together are going to win this thing. Let's go. Team Georgia! Team Georgia! Team Georgia! My name is Sean.
So I said last night, and you guys didn't get to hear him, those that watched the program. The guy's got a good voice. The guy's got a good look. The guy's got a good pedigree. He needs serious political help. He needs a message. He needs words. Yeah, and it's not going to come from the Democratic Party, the Democratic Congressional Committee, because they make way too much money with Marjorie Taylor Greene in there. Doesn't matter how bad she is for the country. That's just the way it works. And if you watch the program, you know, we've discussed those kind of things on here before. I think, I don't know, maybe I didn't go into maybe I didn't go into it in depth as to what happened to me when I was running for Congress, but this is not the time to do that, because now, as I said, we're going to have we started out by taking a look at the episode from last night with the drone comedy, and we're going to end tonight going back a couple of months, and I'm going to replay something that we had on a couple of months ago, and it's about, I don't know, 15 minutes long or so. If you've seen it already, I apologize, but I'm going to put this on and hop into the chat. This is about the January 5th. They were planted on January 5th, discovered early in the morning of January 6th. There were 2 pipe bombs, and this ought to be on the radar screen. This ought to be an active, ongoing, and intense investigation, because somebody very dangerous is still out there, in my opinion. Let's listen to me.
This is from the Federal Bureau that
wait, what happened?
Pipe bombs were not going to be let
off.
Whoa.
What happened there? Why did that do that? Okay, let's try again.
Let's get rolling. This is from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, otherwise known as the FBI. This is from their website, and this is dated September 8, 2021. FBI Washington Field Office released new information and video regarding the suspect who placed pipe bombs, multiple pipe bombs, in the Capitol Hill neighborhood of Washington, D.C. on January 21st. And the FBI is seeking additional tips from the public. Identifying the perpetrator of this attempted attack.
January 5th, 2021, not January 21st.
And our partners at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Correction
and
necessary.
Explosives, U.S. Capitol Police, and D.C. Metro Police. So it was a priority back in 2021. New information includes a virtual map that highlights the route the suspect walked while placing the 2 bombs on Tuesday, January 5th. Let me highlight this. The route the suspect walked while placing the 2 bombs on Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, between 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m., the night before the riots at the U.S. Capitol. One device was placed in an alley behind the Republican National Committee headquarters, located at 310 First Street Southeast, and the other placed next to a park bench near the Democratic National Committee headquarters located at 430 South Capitol Street. All right. Let's look at a map. This is a terrain map of the Capitol of the United States. Here's the Republican National Committee. And then right here is the Democratic National Committee. Again, the Democratic National Committee, Republican National Committee. There's only one street, basically. Well, there's two counting Jersey, but they're well within walking distance of each other. And a lot of people don't even know these places exist. The National Democratic Club, which I've been fortunate to be at both of these places, and actually met someone for an interview outside the RNC, Republican National Committee. So I know where both of these places are. There was a bomb placed here. There was a bomb placed here. I think it's incredibly important. Let's switch here. So here's the Republican National Committee, and here is the Democratic National Committee. I've got the video coming up here in just a couple of moments, and we'll show you what the latest, and this is not new, but this is what the FBI has. We'll show it coming up here in a minute. I find it significant that we talk about this and we do not forget this, and I think it's kind of been swept under the carpet, if you will, because the fact that two pipe bombs were placed, I think is significant. They were placed the night before, which means that at least somebody wasn't planning on a peaceful tour of the Capitol, as many, as many try to portray the events of that day. The fact that there were two pipe bombs placed the night before, I think that's a pretty good indication. I mean, logic should tell you that that there were those planning for other activities. Now, the fact that they were placed at the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee tells you two things. It tells you that either whoever did this was trying to frame somebody else for doing it by attacking eventually or attacking both traditional parties, Democrat and Republican. Sorry, got a little bit of a runny nose. It's cold here tonight. Apologies. So they're either trying to frame somebody or they have an axe to grind against both parties. Either one of those points towards the people that were responsible for the riot at the Capitol, the Trumpers, if you will. And I'm not saying those on the ground. Those on the ground had no idea any of this was going on. I'm sure most of them, if not the incredible vast majority of them, had no idea there were pipe bombs being planted at both National Committee headquarters, Democratic and Republican. But there were. Somebody was trying to frame Antifa and BLM by attacking both traditional parties, or somebody within one of those parties that wanted neither party, but wanted something called MAGA to be the law of the land. They would attack both traditional parties. So it's significant, in my opinion, that this is not swept under the rug, that it's talked about, that it's discussed, that it's solved. And I'd like to spend some time trying to solve it. There's a $500,000 reward, a $500,000 reward, a $500,000 reward, and nobody knows anything. Okay, to me, that tells me that it's not some low-level person. It's not somebody that doesn't already have.
If you're just tuning in, this is a replay of a portion of an episode from a few months back. Again, thanks for clicking on. And I think this is a significant part of what I was talking about then. The fact that there's a $500,000 in reward money available, and a lot of people could use that. And whoever did this, the people around them, that's no kind of money. It's just something to think about.
A significant status, because if they didn't, they would have blabbed to somebody else, and that somebody else could use a $500,000 and would have turned them in. No, this was done by somebody with power, where their sphere of influence, the people they hang out with, the people they confide in, the people they party with, so that if they get too loose-lipped with alcohol or some other substances, they don't spill the beans. People that are in on it as well, in other words. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And all of this is just my summary of all of this. Let me know what you're thinking, either in the comments below if you're watching at your convenience. If you're watching live, jump into the comments and let me know what you think about this. A $500,000 reward, and that was posted. That's not something new either. That's been up there for a long time. And again, if it wasn't somebody of status, one of their confidants would have come forward and said who it was and claimed that $500,000. So let's work on it. Let's figure it out. Let's find out. You know, I know Anarchy Princess is out there, and I know Anarchy Princess is very familiar with the Capitol building. Now, most people aren't familiar with either one of these headquarters. They're both kind of tucked away, and it's done on purpose so that that attention's not drawn to them. You can't get in there. You can't get in the Democratic Club without you can't get in the Democrat Club without invitation. And well, I'm not going to tell you all the details on that. I'll save that for another time. But you can't get in the Democratic National Committee building either without appointment. And I'm sure it's that way at Republican National Committee headquarters. They don't want the public knowing where these places are, which is another thing that I think whoever planted those pipe bombs had to be familiar with the area. And I don't know, maybe Anarchy Princess can take up some. She's been doing some good stuff as far as her court reporting and stuff. Maybe she can pick this up and solve it out there with the help of the internet. I don't know. I just want to draw attention to it. So here is the latest footage of what they're calling the January 5 pipe bomb investigation. And this is the suspect right here. You see the suspect walking up. Now, okay, I want to point out something that I noticed. Let me back up and back up just a little bit more and bring this up to full screen. Now, everybody has a pretty good idea how tall the handlebar is to the ground of these scooters. And I think most people are familiar with these scooters in urban areas. And we see that the bar of the scooter comes just below the shoulder of the suspect. Now that tells me that's either a really small man or female, more than likely, just from this one clue. And again, I'm not making any declarations. I'm not making any accusations. I'm just assessing potential information. Okay, goes over and sits down. It looks to me like it's a female sitting down. I can't say that for sure, but just body language is all I'm basically going on. And you can, feel free to comment. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below, or if you're watching live in the comments, I'll get over there here directly. Maybe I'm, if I'm full of crap, let me know I'm full of crap, but let me know why. Don't just start calling names because you happen to be thinking this didn't happen or whatever, or you don't want, you're not sure you want to know who's responsible. Just the way that sit down with the hands on their knees in front, like I think girls used to be taught to sit that way because they had dresses and skirts on. And it might be just a force of habit. Let's watch it one more time. Okay. And I don't know if guys sit down that way. I don't. I sit down with my hands out to the side of me. But this video is still going on here. And you see a bag that has the pipe bomb or bombs if one of them's already been placed. One of them, once again, placed at the Republican National Committee, and the other one at the Democratic National Committee. So they wanted to cause chaos at in both parties. And again, I think this might have been intended to be part of the plan, because right afterwards, everybody was saying, "Oh, that was Antifa, that was BLM, that wasn't the Trumpers and the militias, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers. It wasn't them." And a lot of people that there were not part of those organizations. All right. We cannot lump everybody into the same kettle. This is the latest from the United States Congress, and this is a transcript. Suggested the FBI could not even determine whether the placement of the pipe bombs was a diversionary tactic. So basically saying, thus far, the FBI hasn't been able to determine anything, is what this document says. It looks like, Mr. Massey, are you familiar with the diversion thesis? That these were set up to be a diversion. And that is a distinct possibility that the pipe bombs were not going to be let off until the riot at the Capitol had been going on, and with the bombs, attention would have been drawn to those bombs, and there's no way that there could have been enough resources to go to secure the Capitol, and they didn't need to set those pipe bombs off as it worked out. But anyway, that's a different episode. Mr. Massey, are you familiar with the diversion thesis? And he says, yes, I've heard people say that. But if you watch, I've done a lot of media reports. I was trying to get the information out there, tips and stuff like that. I will not speculate. I'm not going to speculate. I think that's speculation. When people say that it's a diversionary tactic, we'll never know until we find the person who actually did, or persons that actually did it. So I can't speculate. Could it have been? Yes, that's one theory. But it's one theory. Is it the only theory? I don't really know. I've got two other theories, obviously. Mr. Massey, it looks like the head Capitol Police believe it was a diversion. And so Steve Sudd, Chief of Police, wrote in his book, the guy didn't solve the crime, but the guy wrote a book about it. Pure speculation, no intelligence. We don't, here we go. This is what I've been trying to get at. We don't know. We don't even know what gender at this point, as to, we could speculate, but there's a lot of people that are speculating as to the gender. Count me in that. I'm one of them, as you just heard. So, what happened? Who would benefit from a successful takeover of the United States Capitol? Who would be so passionate that they would plant bombs at both conventional party headquarters? Who knows the area and would know where to go to, well, be avoided by direct and close proximity, to be able to travel and not be in direct and close proximity to security cameras? You know, this is not some random thing. This is something somebody planned out. Somebody probably exercised. You know, they rehearsed this multiple times before that actual night, because either that or they're incredibly lucky because they were successful. So I'm going to be talking more about this, obviously, and I want to hear from you. If you have a theory, if you know something, especially if you know something and you're scared, email me. American Doofus, AmericanDufus @gmail.com. I won't be telling anybody anything other than information that I'm allowed to share. Otherwise, everything will just be on a purely investigative level, and until we find out something. But I think it's important we find out.
There we go. Back here live. I still believe that. That was, again, several months back. I still believe that it is important that we don't forget about this. Somebody tried to blow people up, and they are still out there. I think it would be pretty cool if we could solve it internet style, and maybe I'll still go back and try to get a hold of Anarchy Princess and try to get Anarchy Princess to do some private detective work and give me like a 10% finder's fee when she solves it, because I think if I was out there I know what I would do to try to get the information. And I just think this might be able to be solved. Who knows? All right. Let me hop back over here before saying good night and say hello. Hello to Pat Tolliver and Foxy Lotus. Of course, Fred, GA from CA, Peace, Love, and Sunshine. Mechanic Eric from America. Wow. It's throwback night all the way around. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate everybody clicking on. And again, if you are watching at your leisure, you weren't watching live, let me know what you think in the comments below, and hit the subscribe, like, share. And if you want to get a hold of me, it's American Doofus, AMERICANDUFUS at gmail.com. Love y'all like chocolate chip cookies. And we will be back with another episode very soon. So make sure you subscribe. Again, thank you very much. I wish you nothing but peace, blessings, and a wonderful day coming ahead. Until next time. It is a dark world. Try to be a light.